Hello, Doug Cooper, University of Connecticut, and this is part 2 of our video on how to make a presentation video. In part 1, we showed you how to take a PowerPoint slideshow, export the images, import them into Movie Maker, and make a silent movie. Now in part 2 of this presentation, how to make a presentation video, we're going to talk about creating the voiceover for your silent movie, how to align the voices and the images in Movie Maker, and then how to move forward and export the results as a movie that we can watch on our own computer, our friend's computer, or upload to YouTube if we desire. When we had left off in part 1, we had a silent movie in place inside Movie Maker. With the images imported into Movie Maker and put into the proper order on the video timeline, we now provide the voiceover that turns a slideshow into a movie. Perhaps the easiest way to start the narration tools is to click on the little microphone right above the video timeline as shown on this slide. You can also click on Tools and Start Narration. The most practical way I've found to do a voiceover is on a slide-by-slide basis. I look at a particular slide or image, and I say what it is I want to say about that slide or image. Then I stop the narration and save the audio file under a particular name, slide 1, slide 15, slide 20. So I want to be looking at a particular slide or image the whole time I'm talking about it. On the video timeline, you can click on the edge of a slide and drag it longer or drag it shorter, make it longer or shorter to match however long the audio is going to be. Since you don't know how long the audio is going to be in advance, what I do is I tend to drag the image I'm working on very long, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, make it a long, wide file. Then I say what I'm going to say. When I'm all done, I see how long the audio file is underneath it, and then I can trim or reshrink the video image file to match exactly the audio file, and the transitions will proceed matched as I desire. Here we can see that slide 1 is longer than the other slides. I click on Start Narration, and I say what it is I'm going to say about slide 1. When I'm all done, I click right below Stop Narration. To add voice to your movie, you're going to need a microphone. My laptops, the laptops I've worked with, all have built-in microphones. I didn't even realize it. I had to play around on a control panel to activate them, but that's what I'm doing this on, is just the standard built-in microphone on my laptop. For desktops, you may need to borrow or purchase a microphone. You can purchase a microphone for $10 or $12. And it's plenty. You still have to play around to activate it. Make sure you play with the audio volume settings on your computer so that you don't get all the way to the very end, think you're all done, and find out that it's way too soft and you're unhappy. The other thing is that you want to make sure that if you're going to be working on your project on multiple days, that the audio from tomorrow is equal to the audio for today. So I set everything at the medium level. I set the record, the volume, the input, the narration, the internal microphone, everything all at 50%. And then every time I work on the project, the audio will be recorded in the same fashion, or at least hopefully. So we've created a slideshow, we've exported all of the slides as images, we've imported those images into Movie Maker, and we've just completed our first voiceover for the first slide. Now what we need to do is match up that voice file with the image that it's associated with in Movie Maker. So let's learn how to do that. After you've recorded your first audio file and then pressed Stop Narration, and you've saved it with a file name, it will be on your clipboard on Movie Maker, and you can drag it down below the slide it's supposed to be associated with. Actually, it will, as long as you're going in order, Movie Maker will automatically just put it in place for you. But if you ever find yourself having to go back or delete a clip and replace a clip, you can just drag them down as you need to and organize them in a proper fashion. With the audio for slide 1 in place, I now drag on the edge of the video image of slide 1 and align them. They'll click in place automatically. It's not that difficult to do, but you want to make sure that the audio and the video are matched edge to edge on the timeline. Now move the video timeline marker to the start of slide 2 as I've shown here, and repeat the process by starting narration, saying what you're going to say, and then stopping narration, saving the file. Call it slide 2 audio. That's my suggestion. At any point, you can click on the play button of the preview window and watch what it is that you have created so far. It will start playing from wherever you've put that timeline indicator, so you can back that timeline indicator up, listen to the previous slides, and sort of set yourself up for the next slide. That way you can make it sound like a coherent, all-in-a-row presentation the way you want it to sound when you're complete. The video track and the audio track are two separate entities within Movie Maker. So if there's a portion of an audio file that you like, but you don't like the last few words, or you don't like the first few words, or there's a bump that you want to remove, you can click on an audio file, locate that specific point just by backing up and replaying, and when you've isolated it, then we can clip the file and remove the offending piece or the offending end and re-record perhaps two different voiceovers that create one slide. So if you decide that you want to cut the audio file into two separate files or the video file into two separate files, locate the exact point you're interested in, and then as I show here, click on the separate into two files button. Remember, if the video and the audio are two separate entities, so first click on the audio, then locate the point, then cut the file into two pieces. Then you can delete the first half or the last half, or cut it into three pieces, remove the middle part, and then slide the two remaining pieces together. This is a more sophisticated editing technique that allows for a more polished presentation. Save your project often, save the files often, and when you're finally all done, save your complete project as a movie to your computer. You're going to have to identify a name for your movie and a folder location. It should be that same single backup folder you've been using for everything else. After you click on Save to My Computer, click on More Choices. It's going to default to a limited number of options. Click on More Choices, then click on Other Settings. Then what I choose is the 1 megabyte per second LAN, local area network choice. It's kind of intermediate between all the choices. It's got a high bit rate, but it's not so large that the file is huge. So it's a combination of quality and size. Feel free to experiment with other options. You should be watching your movie along the way. After you've recorded a few slides, back up and watch and make sure that you're happy. And then when you're all done and you've saved your movie, watch it again and watch it. Editing, and re-editing are what makes something good. And hopefully you're happy. But if you can make it better, do so. So in this movie, we defined our research and created a PowerPoint slideshow that told a story. Then we showed how to export our slideshow as images, import those images into Movie Maker, line them up in the story order, created a voiceover so that we could narrate our slideshow. We exported the result as a movie. Along the way, we edited, refined, improved, made it better, and now we're watching and enjoying.